Welcome, everybody. Hello, Mr. Steve Appel. Welcome, everybody. This is mancavepodcasting.com is bringing to you today the Less is More Coaching Podcast / videocast. And we are live on multiple social media. And we are here today also on Clubhouse. And I have the privilege of having the man, the myth, the legend, Steve Appel on stage with me. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Hello, Steve.
Good afternoon. At least for me, it's afternoon, Coach Les. Pleasure to be on stage with you, sir.
And also on stage with us is Brother Wade. Good afternoon, Wade. Since I know where you're at, I know your time zone. You're in the same zone as me.
That's right. How are you doing this afternoon, Coach Les?
I am doing better than phenomenal. And today I am out to talk about one of the topics that I've spoken a little bit about before. And I recently got a book in the mail to support some of the stuff that I have been talking about, and wanted to drum up the conversation again and have a look at it, because so many people have been discussing this topic on how do you keep employees in today's world? How do you get people excited to come to your small business, which may not have all of the same beautiful things going for it that some of the big corporations have? And the salary may not be at the same level, so it's a little bit less, and it has that family feel to it. And I looked into this book, and it's called 1,001 Ways to Reward Employees. And it's written by a gentleman named Bob Nelson, who has, of course, a PhD. And the foreword in the book is by the 1 Minute Manager himself, Ken Blanchard. And I'm going to just start off by reading the back of the book, because you always get a lot out of this. And then we'll jump into the conversation. Hello, Brian. Hi, Allison. Thank you for being here. The most interesting and inventive business book on the market today, a publishing phenomenon from the Training Magazine. Better than money, praise and personal gestures motivate workers. Things that don't cost money are ironically the most effective. The Wall Street Journal. This blockbuster guide does wonders for morale. Use of its ideas is changing the face of rewards and recognition in the workplace. From Success Magazine. You get the best effort from others not by lighting a fire beneath them, but by building a fire within them. So sums up Bob Nelson about the philosophy of motivation that makes 1,001 Ways to Reward Employees the million-copy bestseller that is indispensable for business. Now completely revised and updated with hundreds of new real-world examples, 1,001 Ways to Reward Employees is a chock-full guide to rewards of every conceivable type, for every conceivable situation. Dr. Bob Nelson is president of Nelson Motivation, Inc., a management training and consulting company in San Diego, and co-founder of the National Association for Employee Recognition. His best-selling books include The 1,001 Ways series, Managing for Dummies, and The Management Bible. We want to think past the raise and the promotion. Land's End CEO Mike Smith, who reviews all his mail, sends a note of kudos to every worker praised in a customer's letter. Polaroid pays the tuition of all job-related courses and offers more than 100 classes internally to employees. There's only one reserved parking space at Illaris Inc., and that's for the person selected as Associate of the Month. The president of Remington Products personally hands out instant cash bonuses ranging from $200 to $500 to workers spotted by their supervisors doing an exceptional job. Public relations firm Firmani and Associates closes one day every quarter so employees can go to a movie together. That's awesome. So what I wanted to do, hey, Tanisha, how are you? And Brian, I'm going to send you a little reach out, bring up to the stage. And since there are a couple people on the stage, I'd love to ask the question, what are good ways that you can think of to reward employees? And with that, I'll pass the mic to Steve Appel.
And what a great question, Coach. What a great topic. But question for you, what was the date that book was updated?
Oh, boy.
How about, was it updated before the pandemic?
No, 2005.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that speaks volumes. Okay. Firstly, I think that the parking spot for the Employee of the Month is absolutely fantastic. Doesn't cost the company any extra money, and it shows loyalty and it shows reward. Great idea. One day off for the entire team to go out. You know, Coach, you probably know this. They used to refer to that as team building. I don't know if they still refer to it now, but one day off when either the company goes out or the company brings in food to the lunchroom where it's on the clock and they can go over some things. Also a good time to air grievances, not necessarily all grievances. You know, some should remain private, but just to talk about the successes and hopefully with the attempt to minimize failures at this team building session is a great idea. I'm going to give one other suggestion and then I'll pass. I've been doing this for quite a while. We all know what barter is, trade. I belong to a trader. I've belonged to a barter company. They issue 1099s to completely legitimate and licensed. It's called ITEX, ITEX. For any of you business owners, managers, whatever the case may be, you are more than welcome to look up ITEX. If your company offers services, and of course the mancavepodcasting.com does, not only on a cash basis, but on a trade basis. If you as the owner or the manager of a company can get movie tickets or lunch or restaurant script or anything to do with trade, haircuts, beauty salons, whatever the case may be, where you can get trade in the form of gift certificates, and maybe even if the company wants to pay cash for gift certificates, I don't know, but trade is a great way. Also, you know, concert, sports, and theater tickets, to give away those tickets, those certificates to the employees that perform well is a fantastic way of building team support and trust within the company. It is no longer really how much is my salary, because anybody can outbid you. When we used to talk about buying homes decades ago, it was price, price, price. And of course, now we know price, location, and terms rather than location, location, location. I think the same thing applies in hiring and treating your employees now. It's just not the salary, but it's the entire package. What type of working environment do you have? What benefits do you have? What's your 401k? Can I work from home? Etc., etc., etc. The idea of simply paying the most amount of money doesn't work anymore. And Coach Les, I'll give it back to you.
Thank you so much, Steve. Appreciate it. And, amazing good points. I think I missed the first one, but let me recap number 2, 3, 4, and 5, and maybe you can jar my memory for the first one. One is team building, one day off, where the company goes out on an excursion together. Second would be team building, where they go out to dinner or luncheon, and they talk about successes and failures as they go through the world. The fourth one I have was barter trade with gift certificates, and the fifth one was the benefits. But I can't remember what the first one was, Steve. Would you mind reminding me?
Yes, it was the parking spot
yes.
you mentioned. What a fantastic idea, because it doesn't cost the company a single dime, and yet it builds. It's a great perk, and it doesn't cost the company anything.
Love it. Thank you. All right. And with that, we pass the microphone over to Brother Wade.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I am really excited about that idea, about especially if you could do it in a trade situation, going to a movie, something like that. Perhaps, maybe even, this thought just crossed my mind because my wife, Letitia, is such a wonderful cook and she caters, is if you went and prepared a special meal for the employee and their spouse and family in their own home, or something to that effect, that would set you apart and unique. I like the idea about, I would really like to try that idea about preparing a meal and then honoring the spouse and the employee and their spouse and their family. Similar to a birthday party, but not a birthday party, an employee honoring party. So that thought crossed my mind. And I'll pass my mic back to you, Coach Les.
Awesome, Wade. Thank you so much. I think, Wade, I think the more creative we can get today, the more fun we have today will take away some of the sadness that people are experiencing, because there's a lot of people that are sad to still be at home. I'm just so blessed with the ideas of this book here too. And I think when you hear this, Wade and Steve, I think you'll see and Marquis, thank you for coming up on stage. Let me just share these 3 points here. Regardless of the cost, scope, or complexity of effective rewards and recognition, the guidelines are simple. Match the reward to the program. Then the second one is match the reward to the achievement. And then the third one is be timely and specific. So, hello, Faith, excuse me. Come on up if you want to come and join us. So with those three things, regardless of the cost, scope, or complexity of effective rewards and recognition, those are some of the guidelines. Match the reward to the person, match the reward to the achievement, and be timely and specific. I know I've gotten my head in my hand several times when I've done these, when I was with the wine and liquor business, and we did this beautiful miniature TV, and the ability to attach the right informal reward, an official acknowledgement of that reward. I think that there is so much power in adding that acknowledgement. And the little gadget or the little thank you doesn't necessarily have to be this big thing. It can be something small and affordable that will really make a big impact. And that's what I hear, and that's what I see. Marquis, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about, Marquis, tell us a little bit about what your thoughts are for rewards to employees.
Well, excuse me. I think that employees deserve the maximum rewards because they the one that keep the companies going.
Yep.
Basically, the way I feel, is I want everyone to win. That's just the way I feel. I want the company to win, and I also want the employees to win. So that's not my opinion. That's my position. I submit to you.
Well, I appreciate that. And, this is such a creative conversation. And, as we go through this afternoon, please don't hesitate to throw some wingers out there, because I think that's where we're really going to have fun with this conversation.
Okay, well, let me throw a wing out there right now. I'm gonna throw a winger out right now. In my opinion, employers should pay employees. Everybody is supposed to win.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yes.
I would, because the whole thing is, if I give my employees, the maximum amount, which I think that they deserve, because they the one that run the company, really. Like as a CEO, guess what? Your position is about the bottom line. Your bottom line is, your employees. They the one that make the money, not you. You that make a decision. Basically, I want my employees to win. That way they can feed their family, and that takes care of, and me, because I'm in the American spirit. Basically, I don't win unless my employees win. I submit to you.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Coach Les, is this popcorn style?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got a small group, so we'll go popcorn.
All right. Very good. I'm sure all of us have now heard the term and are familiar with the Great Resignation, which over the past year, a lot of employees have resigned, and it's very difficult to get good employees now as compared to before the pandemic. About 2 weeks ago, an article came out from Inc.com. Inc.com. And this is entitled that 72% of workers regret resigning, and it's not their fault. Leaving your odd job for your new dream job can be a nightmare because employers lie. Now, this figure does not surprise me at all, because now, before the pandemic and going back at least a decade, we know that 80% of all employees are either not happy in the job they're doing or want to be doing something else. So I am not surprised that this article came out 2 weeks ago saying 72% of workers regret resigning from their job during the pandemic. And really quickly, I'll just give some highlights, and then those of you that want can look this up. Business owners might have some smug satisfaction upon learning that according to Fox News survey, 72% of employees who have resigned during the ongoing Great Resignation have regrets. Your hiring managers and recruiters talk only about the upside of working at your business. Obviously, they don't talk about the downside. And again, this goes to what we were talking about, that it's just not the paycheck nowadays. It's about the entire package. Employees you resent paying higher salaries. That's the employer. Your onboarding program consists of an HR presentation and a lunch with the boss. You pulled a bait and switch. You're not listening to your long-term employees. And it goes on and on and on. But we've known for a very long time that 80% of employees are not happy in their job or want to be doing something else. And now this comes from Inc.com, that 72% of employees that have quit, resigned, whatever the case may be, during the Great Resignation have regrets. Back to you, Coach Lev.
I would like to speak next, please.
If I could, sir, if I could say something as an employer, I would say that, guess what? That's something that we have to figure out as employers, because the whole thing is the employees, they are the ones that make the money. I want to give my, maximum, to the employees. I want you to invest in the company. I want you to make the most money possible. And as an employer, obviously, you want to make a profit, but I want to make sure that you are happy, because I can't make no money if you ain't happy. So I agree with you as saying, as far as bad employees are concerned, but I'm not that type of employer. I want my employees to make the maximum amount of money. I submit to you.
I love that, Marquis. That's awesome. And did somebody else chime in on one? Was that Marshall? Was that you?
All right. Can everybody hear me? Hello?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, okay, good now for a second. All right. So actually, I'm so glad that we had this this topic. First, I'd like to propose a format for a slight change to the body of the format of the entire discussion with respect to the moderators.
Which is going to be you, by the way.
We often talk a lot about problems, but I feel that we as people that are seeking answers and want positive, innovative solutions, and the ability to voice our concerns, should also bring to the table, whenever we bring a concern or a problem, we should also attempt to bring a solution. If they don't have one, then one should be attempted by the body of the room. Does everybody? I'd like to hear everybody chime in real quickly on that.
Yes, agreed, 100%. And by the way, you are part of the moderator team. Just FYI.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a very bestowed honor. Thank you. It's very nice of you. Thank you, Coach. Okay, so moving forward, first thing, as they always say, rising tide lifts all boats. I feel that you don't really want. It's like when somebody comes to you, it's like they go to school. Like, you should grade them up and then grade them out of your company, not in a negative way. But you're going to bring them up. You're going to give them a steady paycheck, and then you're going to give them the tools to be able to succeed themselves. And when I mean tools, I mean like you will have a program in place, because I'm talking about you can't tear down a current system unless you already have a new fundamentally better system to take its place. So I proposed that the way I was going to structure my company is that one day a week, I will actually, anybody that comes to me or play with me, I will actually give them the full power of the company as far as advertising, build up their brand and stuff like that. So when you release them, like, they're already good. They know what to do. They just have to do it. So it's really about, when I mean building people up, I mean really building people up, and find out what your employees' problems are. Like, what their problems are. Did they not get enough time at home and stuff like that? And try to focus on the solution to helping them solve their problems and getting their time managed properly for them.
Most High in Christ. I agree with what you said completely. Most High in Christ.
So it's really about building people. And people say that, yeah, we build teams, blah, blah, blah. But no, building people is giving them skills, giving them help with their personal life, giving them emotional support. Whatever resources they need, you need to make those available to your team, period. Like, without question. And if that's not being listen. This is the reason why I decided to structure the company, that if the company does not meet your needs, that I will have to, I am in violation of my HR contract. This is a completely precedent for business. I will violate the HR agreement between us, and therefore will have to pay you entire 5-year severance, which is unheard of in the industry.
And I'm not against severance pay. This is the whole thing. If I have a good, employee, I want to keep them in whichever way I can. As an employer. But I would like, for them to be a part of the company. I want you to own a piece of, something. That way you can take care of your family. I submit to you.
Well, the thing is that, like I said, like, I there's a lot of nuances to it. Like, I also would extend support beyond the company. So, like, when I finally get you built up to the point, we've done the work that we're going to accomplish together, and then I set you up for success, and then allow you to chase your dreams. Once we're at that point, there will be a continued support. This is not withdrawing support. The thing that's what people don't understand about my severance. Like, it's a little.
Well, we don't have a disagreement there. I don't disagree with you.
Yes.
I know it's popcorn, but I would love to listen to the rest of what Marshall has to say, and then we can all comment. That would be my suggestion.
Okay, come on, Mr. Marshall.
So, with the continued support, so it's kind of like whenever you have to, like, pay COBRA and stuff like that, and other healthcare. Like, whenever you get laid off from a job, like, I want to set as a standard, because like I'm totally restructuring and recondensing HR, and all that money by condensing HR, I am able to give back to the employees in the form of either severance or continued support. After if they decide they're not a good fit for the company, like if you made
if I could, sir, HR works for me, and basically you as employee, guess what? I'm gonna make sure that they give you severance pay and everything. I agree with you. We don't disagree.
Marcus, you sound very knowledgeable, and Marcus, I would love to learn from you. But before I do, I would once again respectfully ask that we let Marshall finish before we comment, if that's okay with you.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, Mr. Marshall. Go ahead.
Sure. No worries. Like, I field all questions. It's good to get immediate, because that lets you know what's on someone's mind. So therefore, you can address. Because that way you can bring something to the front that might have been farther back in the stack, and therefore that you can address it immediately with them while it's on their mind, and they're able to they're in that that portion of their concern. So the way that the structuring for HR and the restructuring of policy and onboarding procedure. Like I'm taking complete. For once, the employer is going to take in complete liability for the employee, and that is. And when you look at current systems that are in place, that's not the case. Even HR, I mean, we theoretically, we talk about theoretically we want to implement, support for our companies. But if you look at the actual data that's associated with HR policies, you start to see the way that, it takes them all this time to onboarding. They don't have a comprehensive training program. The training's not done that. Like, they're trained big teams, but, some people get it or other people are falling behind, because when you look at actual performance metrics, the numbers, and don't lie at a certain point. But, I feel that the numbers are only one part of the thing. Like I said, if you're building a person emotionally, mentally, and you're giving them, like you're giving them life support, then there shouldn't be. You wouldn't want to leave the company. You'd be like, I want to stay at this company forever. Like, I don't even really want to run my own company. Like, if you're not having that kind of culture where people just want to come and where people are beating down the door to work for you, then it's like not because of what money they'll make, but because of what kind of person they will become.
Mr. Marshall, if I could, sir, real CEOs build CEOs.
Exactly.
Guess what? Whole thing is, I would want any, because I don't look at a person as an employee. I look at them as a partner. You know what I mean? Like, and so my whole thing is, I want you to build your own company. That's the way I feel. I submit to you.
Well, okay, so I actually took this from I took a page from this. Actually, was writing this as part of my condensed HR. It's like a little kind of funny story. So just as something practical. So the military during Vietnam, they trained they trained a squad of special forces to go into behind enemy lines. And the way that they trained them is they trained them specifically that the whole entire group, which was at the time composed of privates, corporals, and stuff like that, had the ability, the knowledge of the tactical implementations, as well as practical knowledge of the highest officer in the company or platoon. So the reason they did that is because they knew that at some point. Listen, excuse me, sorry. At some point, if they lost an employee, that not only would business not falter, but their fellow soldiers would not suffer. So therefore, you're not only looking after that person, because once a person leaves the company.
Okay, Mr. Morris, I can tell you, because me, being a retired military veteran, I can tell you exactly the way we think. The way we think is every soldier, sailor, airman, and Marine is important to us. And Coast Guardman. All of it important to us, because the whole thing is, guess what? They are our brothers or sisters.
Right.
Exactly, and that is the way we think. So, and sometimes you can make mistakes or whatever. When you're making tactical decisions. However, we care about every soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, and Coast Guardman. I submit to you.
Well, so this is part of where my company is different, is because there's a lot of systems that are in place currently that fundamentally, from either a moral or a logical standpoint, are currently flawed. And what our company is trying to aim to do is to be able to implement new systems and new sets of philosophical philosophical mandates. It's not really mandates, but bylaws, whatever you want to call them, that allow people to grow their understanding of how people should be treated, It's for
Okay,
diversity,
so
for diversified amount of reasons, you know.
okay, so Mr. Marshall, I can tell you this as far as, you know, me specifically, you know, I don't care if a brother, you know, or sister is right or wrong. I'm gonna take care of them because guess what? I got their back. That's the whole thing, you know, when it comes to the military standpoint.
I don't look at that's see this is what I was saying about philosophical. You see, that's always been a stig. You know, that's part of the problem of the broken system that is currently in place. Is that you are negatively treated for failures or for, you know, problems.
That's not true. That's not true. I disagree with you.
In some cases, because I mean, you know, I would rather somebody try to do 10 things and fail at half of them than try to only do 5 things and get them perfectly. And the reason why that is because you want to allow them to push yourself, but you can't, you know, you can't expand somebody if you don't, you know, if they're not working to expand themselves.
Mr. Marshall, I understand that you probably ain't never been in the military before, so I just fundamentally disagree with you. But it's okay.
It's actually not a disagreement. It's just it's more of a perspective. But like I said, we support. So the support is there. So actually, we do agree because I'm about supporting the employee. Once the employees their interview process is done and they've been hired, they get support regardless. Like they have continuing support even after they leave the company. So I mean,
yes. So Mr. Marshall, this what I would say. The United States military always has the back of our country. You know, this is one thing we doctrinated into, you know, for God, for country. That's what we are taught as soon as you come in the military. That's what we are taught. I submit to you.
Well, actually, I'm well aware. My ex-fiance she was a military police officer. We were together for like 7 years. So I've dated military. My father actually served in Vietnam. He was a scout in Vietnam.
God bless him. God bless him.
Yeah,
God bless him.
amen.
So,
well, gentlemen.
I mean, I understand.
Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna jump in here because we're
sure. Go ahead, Coach.
We're getting. I want no. This is perfect. I'm gonna because we're at the end of the hour here, and I'm gonna invite both of you to come back tomorrow because I'd like to pick it up right in this spot. And what I want to say, just to kind of encapsulate this, is I agree with both of you. I think that both of you are exactly on the same channel. I think that what makes this really fun is, Marquis, your background. You know, I was also in the military as well. And so thank you for your service as well. And we have this conversation that is bubbling up that I think is going to be just, I can't wait to hear it. If we can start off right on the hour tomorrow, I'd love to have both of you come back. I'm here we'll be starting at 3:00 tomorrow, Central Standard, 4:00 Eastern, same place, same title. And I'll pick it right back up. And Marshall, if you're available, it would be great to have you.
Coach, do you mind if I suggest something really quickly, just so that we can make this a little bit more dynamic? This is kind of me helping you help other people as well. That you would start I'll get together with you on how to send out Google Calendar invites. That way, whenever you do have rooms like that, like it'll go off in my calendar, so I'll have an actual like alarm for it. It won't just be a notification. So,
no problem at all. If you send me a back channel, Marshall, I'll send you an email with it, and I'll send you the link. And if you look up above, let me just take a look at this link that's already in there.
Okay, yeah, y'all give me Calendar invite, yeah, that would make a lot of sense to me.
Yep, calendar invites are the way.
So what you need to do is you both need to make sure you're following me so that I can invite you, and then I'll send you the link. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think I've already back channeled you.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, Coach.
Yep. And I will look forward to it. I'll get it out to you as soon as my next appointment is complete. And I thank both of you guys for, I'm super excited because this will be on replays and you'll be able to hear it. And I'm excited about tomorrow because I think we're going to be able to take this to the next level. I'll also send out a little bit of an outline because I think there's a way that we could drive this, and we don't have to do it that way. Let me send it out and see what you think.
Sure. You can send it out as a rough draft or as a finalized version. Either one's fine for me. Trust me, I'll be able to give you structured feedback about it.
Awesome. And with that, I'm going to close this room up, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you again, Coach, for letting me speak, and you have a good day as well, sir.
All right. You take care, everybody.
Good day to.
Coaching with Les has doubled my practice.
If you have any struggles in your business or your personal life, Les is your guy.
He's logical, he's empathetic, he has passion for helping people, and his ideas are genuinely thoughtful.
So if you're looking for a business coach with integrity, choose Les.